Okay, hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel, ChapterChat. My name is Zara and this is Hawa. So we are going to start with introduction. We are going to share who we are, why we love reading, and what kind of books we are going to be reviewing on this channel. Start. Okay, who are you and why do you love reading?
I'm Hawa, and the reason why I love reading is mostly because it helps me escape reality. It makes me put myself in other people's shoes and whatnot. It takes me to different worlds, especially when I read fantasy. So it takes me places I know that I would never be, and it's very, very exciting. So I can say mostly that's why I love reading books. And it's kind of keeps my imaginations wild, and it helps me vocabulary wise.
Yes, same. It's actually the same. I'm Zara and I actually started reading because my friends forced me to start reading. I didn't start reading until I was in SS2 and I met my friend Hawa, different Hawa. We were in the same school and she was just a book monger. You know there are food mongers. She was a book monger and she used to read anytime, anyhow, anywhere. And I was like, what's so special about this one? She was like, you don't know what you're missing. Don't even talk to me. I was like, okay, let me just read one book. I can't even remember the first book she introduced me to. It was a novel and it was not as big as these ones I normally read now. But it was a novel and she introduced me to it. And my classmates, let me just say this, were awful. They were bullies. They were they were villagers. So reading to escape from them was the main reason why I started reading. Also the same as reading to escape from reality at the end of the day. So I started reading and I loved it. And so I continued reading it and I'm still reading now. So what kind of books are we going to be reviewing on this channel?
Well, let's say basically fiction.
Yes.
You non-fiction lovers
Yes.
should not come after our truth.
At all.
So
At
please
all.
stay off.
And sometimes I even read horror books. So you
Exactly,
should not be surprised if you find horror
exactly.
here. But I don't read real books that help me in my life.
I tried
I don't
Atomic
read-
Habits and it was not working.
I don't read books that help me in my life. I just read to escape reality. So any book I read, just know that it's fictions. So anything that will take me to dragons and hot men, I will read it. So yes. So the first book we are going to review now is Verity. Colleen Hoover is my favorite author. Although, who is your favorite author?
I can't say I have one, honestly.
Well, she's not my only favorite author.
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorite authors, but she's one of the best because I'm on a mission to read all her books, though I've not gone far, but it's there. I'm going to read all her books one day because she's one of some people. I met a friend in school and she told me that she hates Colleen Hoover. And she told me that a lot of people hate Colleen Hoover. And I was wondering, how do you hate Colleen Hoover? Because I was like, okay, there are some things in her personal life that people don't like apparently.
Yeah.
But me, I was like, I don't care about her personal life. I care about her books.
Exactly.
If her books are nice, I will read them. So me, I used to read her books. I love her. I love her books. And the first book we are going to review now is Verity. Verity by Colleen Hoover, obviously.
Reading Verity has been a roller coaster for me. Let me be honest, it has been a roller coaster from Lowen and Jeremy meeting to the very last chapter. It has been a roller coaster. I literally called Fatty and I was like, what did I just read? What? I was losing my shit that night.
Do you know I started reading Verity in the night and I finished it almost that same night, and by 3 o'clock I realized something was wrong with Verity. And you know they used to say 3 o'clock is the devil's hour. And I was so scared. I was like, no, this cannot be happening. This is 3 o'clock in the night. Should I close the book? Should I continue the book? I continued reading that book.
I started mine in the day because I couldn't keep my eyes open at night, so I slept. So I started mine in the morning and I finished in the afternoon, and I finished around, was it 8 to 9 p.m. and I was like, what did I just read? I went to my sister and I was like, what just happened? I was like, you need to read this. You really need to read this. You really, really need to read this. Because I cannot be the only one in this.
So just in case it's not clear, we are recommending this book. This is supposed to be like at the end of the video, but we are recommending this book
right now.
This is recommended. Like, you should read this book ASAP in case you haven't. So for people who haven't read Verity, this is just what Verity is about. Let me just tell you guys. So one of my favorite quotes from the book: some families are lucky enough to never experience a single tragedy, but then there are those families that seem to have tragedies waiting on the back burner. What can go wrong goes wrong and then gets worse. So this should tell you a little bit of what the book is about.
Yes.
Things go wrong and then get worse because apparently they are chronics. According to Verity, the main character in the book, chronics are people who just have it bad in their life. They just wake up, they are born, things go downhill from there, they grow up, it gets worse till they die. That's just who chronics are. And apparently, according to Verity, her and her husband Jeremy are chronics.
So let's say it started out on a day that Lowen, which is the, should we say main female lead? It's actually the main female lead, yes. Lowen met Jeremy after an accident where she got blood spilled all over her shirt, and she had an interview in like less than 30 minutes. So he had to help her. He gave her a shirt at a cafe and stuff like that. Then he told her some stuff about his life. He lost his quote unquote daughters, and well, that's why he told her that his family is a chronic. Yes, that's why he told her his family is a chronic. They met at her publisher's. He was the client she was supposed to meet after her being off job for months, taking care of her mom,
who was sick.
She died.
Yeah,
which was I wouldn't say it really affected her, but it did in some kind of way, saying that her and her mom also did not get along.
So, at all.
Let's say Lowen had this shitty life. Too. She's not a chronic because apparently things for her didn't go from bad to worse. But she also treaded on shitty life.
Yes, and it didn't help that she was an introvert too.
Yeah, she was an introvert.
She didn't like talking to anybody, going out at all, anything.
But I did not like her toxic relationship with her publisher.
Yes.
Let me be honest.
That way,
Corey
I don't want to think about him.
I don't even
want to think about
even
him.
after he followed her back home that night after the interview, that day after the interview, he didn't really even ask about her mom, and he didn't really show concern. That's to just show how toxic their relationship was.
Yes. So Jeremy Crawford is Verity's husband, in case you guys haven't grabbed that. He's Verity's husband. He's the one she was having the interview with, and so they went to the interview. She finds out that Jeremy is the one that wants to hire her to complete his wife's series because his wife is sick and bedridden.
And so you know, Verity is an author too.
Yeah.
So as Lowen too is an author. Yeah. And they're both facing suspense thriller and the likes of it.
And their writing styles, according to him is similar. So that's why he brought her in and he requested for her to finish the book. But she found that weird that she was finishing his wife's book, and she thought that she just wasn't as good as Verity. So she didn't want to collect the book.
Exactly. She didn't that Verity was a hot shot.
Yeah. So Verity was very popular. She was very famous.
Yeah, she felt like she's just a nobody author.
Because that also was because she was an introvert. She didn't care about
the tours.
Or any publicity. She just wanted to have money and just live her life. But Verity was the reverse. She was very popular. Everybody knew Verity. so she just felt she couldn't finish her book. But then Jeremy convinced her to finish the book, to collect the job, and she agreed to do it.
The another crazy part to this was that her apartment lease was cut off, so she didn't really have anywhere to stay. So
Yeah.
Jeremy invited her to stay over at his place for a few days while she
completing
sorted out
series, yeah.
Verity's notes and wherever. So that was where everything went
That's how
downhill.
everything. Obviously, they needed an excuse to get her to that house ASAP,
yes.
because anything out of that house would not work.
Would not work. Yes, the whole manic activities happened in that house, and under 3 weeks.
Yes.
2 or 3 weeks. Yes.
Yes. And Verity, none of the book would have happened if she. So Lowen goes to stay in the Crawford house for a few days, looking for notes and outlines in Verity's office. And like she said, her lease was due, so she was staying in the Crawford's house, and she was so her lease was due, and she was staying in the Crawford's house, and she was looking for notes in Verity's office. And obviously the guy is lonely, Jeremy is lonely, his wife has been sick, and there are hidden secrets in their marriage and house and everything. And weird things were happening, because to be honest, when Lowen went there, she didn't go there to have any romantic relationship with Jeremy.
Exactly.
She just went there to work.
We cannot deny the fact that upon the first time she met him,
Yeah, she was attracted to him.
Yes,
Yes, he was a good looking man. Any woman would be attracted to him. So she went there just because she didn't have a place to stay, and because she actually needed to sort out those things. So she accidentally found the manuscript, and this whole book is about
based on the manuscript,
because this is where all the confusion starts
Yeah.
happening. She starts reading the manuscript while still getting closer to Jeremy, and that one just happened naturally. It wasn't their fault. Neither of them.
It was kind of like close proximity.
Yes.
And wherever made them.
And the fact that Jeremy was hurting, and he was also in pain, and there were a lot of things he didn't understand. And then she just came, and she has been wondering, like, why is Jeremy still with her? Like, she didn't want to be rude or anything, but she was wondering, why is Jeremy with his wife? She was basically dead, just that she wasn't really dead, and he was a good looking man, and he had a son. Like, when would he just take her to a hospital, just leave her there and continue his life? So she's been wondering that. Then she found the manuscript, and then things just started going downhill from there. Yeah.
She got to find out how Jeremy and Verity met through the manuscript. She got to find out how they started living together in, where was it again? Manhattan,
Yeah.
In Manhattan. Then that's when things started happening. Because one funny thing is that the Verity in the book and the real life in the manuscript and the real life Verity I wouldn't say they are completely two different people. I believe they are the same people, because honestly I believe in that manuscript 100%.
Which is a discussion for later.
For later. So she found out how they fell in love, how they started living with each other, how Verity got pregnant.
Yes. So actually, since the beginning, but she highlighted how Verity started saying, that so this manuscript is it's not a manuscript, it's an autobiography. Yes. So she was like, this is my autobiography, and this is not like other autobiographies, that this is raw and honest and truth, and she's not going to try to make herself look good or anything. This is going to be the raw, honest truth, and she just wants to write it down because it's her life, and she feels somebody needs to know something that went on in her life. So if you don't have a strong heart or a strong mind, don't read it. So Lauren was like, what is going on? Like, why is she writing this word? So she continued reading.
She decided to dive in. At first, it was looking okay.
Yes,
it was
a little
disturbing.
Because that woman has not been normal since the beginning.
Exactly. She hasn't been normal. That's just it. In the beginning of the manuscript, she has been weird out. How would I say? It's like she's having this mini psychotic thing to her. Because it wasn't just normal. With the way she described, the way she dressed, the way she approached. No, she didn't even approach Jeremy. He approached her, but she gave him signs, like green lights of approaching her. And the disturbing thing was the way she described the red dress she wore. I was like, who describes what they wear with the purpose of why they wear what they wear?
And I feel like she was using that manuscript also as like a medium to confess everything.
Yes.
But then because she's a writer, she can always twist it out and be like, oh, it's not true.
And I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite quotes from the book later. So what happened is that she met Verity met Jeremy at a fundraiser charity event, sort of. Then they hit it off that day. They left, they went to his apartment, they had this is censored. They had sex. So
Okay.
And they hit it off pretty much. And according to what she said, it went on for about a week straight. Then her apartment lease too was due, but she could not renew it because she was already, from her quote unquote, obsessed with Jeremy, and she wanted to stay with him or whatever. She was obsessed with Jeremy. Plain out. Nobody should come for my neck. So she decided to live with him without telling him she wants to live with him.
Yes, she basically cancelled her rent and all that. You know how couples move in together and then at one point you guys are just like living together, but then not really. If you guys have a fight, you can go back to your own apartment and all that. So he didn't know that she cancelled her rent and everything. And then one day he was like, oh, move in with me. And then she was like, what? We've been living together since. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So it came as a shock.
And then he was like, that was the first time he was like, are you okay?
She
like,
kind of felt the
are you okay? What do you mean we're already living together? She was like, we've been living together. I love you.
Yes.
Like I love you, so it's normal. We've been living together.
And she found a way to distract him.
Yes.
And whatever. So they started living together, doing normal couple things, doing groceries together. He was struggling with work and stuff like that. He was into real estate. He was a realtor, yeah? Yes, he was a realtor. He was into real estate and stuff. So he was kind of struggling with bringing up his business and whatever.
Yeah.
Then she started.
So we had to change sceneries due to Nepal showing us Shege. Anyways, now we are going to talk about why we think the manuscript is real. This is for those of you that have read the book or have gone ahead and read the book after that. So first of all, I think the book is real because this woman, from the beginning, she seems like a psychopath. To be honest, she is a psychopath. I still believe she's a psychopath because who would write? Okay, fine, your children died, but is that an excuse to write such horrible things about you doing that to your children? Not somebody else doing that to them. You doing that to your own children. It just seems weird. I don't think any mother would want to think about her doing those kind of things to her own children, talk less of somebody else even doing it for them.
Exactly.
So
and
I think that manuscript is true.
The more was when she tried to abort the twin pregnancy with the hanger. The scar she left on
is still on her part.
Yes, on her part. Even the doctor said it was kind of deep. Too deep for it to be, but it's not uncommon.
Yes, it could be a scar
from
a tissue problem or something like that.
A tissue problem, or probably due to one twin laid on the other. Yes, compressing the other. So Yeah.
Honestly, at first I thought it could be, just a one, because she's a good writer. She's a great writer.
She's a great writer.
It's when she said that at the end of the book that
My favorite quote.
when she said that her publicist gave her an advice to start writing something like that. I believe, okay, yeah, that could be a coping mechanism, because at that point Harper had just died. And according to the letter at the end of the book, it was due to her carelessness that Harper died.
Yes.
So that's why she wrote all those things. But then still, that doesn't explain the scar on Harper's face. Yes, when she was a child. And then that doesn't explain her trying to abort those children. Because, okay,
I
Harper
doesn't
died.
still explain why she told Crew to hold his breath.
Why did she tell Crew to hold his breath?
Before
And I feel like her killing
down.
Harper also had something to do with Harper being a girl. Because she was jealous that she was sharing Jeremy's love with Harper, and then Harper was a girl.
Also, actually, at first,
Yes,
before
and
she
Chastity
had
too.
that dream.
Yes.
Before she had that dream where
Before
Harper
she started
killed-
liking her.
Yeah,
And
Chastity.
yes, that's why she now decided to kill her. And then I think that's why Crew also was the only one that lived.
Yes.
Because he was a guy. She knows she cannot, the love she will share with
a female
him,
child.
yes,
will
it's
be
not the
different
same
with
with the one she will
with
share with her
child.
male child. Exactly. So why
It
the
was
but then
also
it doesn't it
crazy.
was also like, why didn't she write anything about Jeremy in the manuscript? If it was truly a coping mechanism, why didn't she write anything about Jeremy? Because she could say that
how
she
obsessed she was
Exactly.
with Jeremy, how obsessed
she was
with
always
Jeremy.
talking about Jeremy in a good lighting.
Yeah.
How she loved Jeremy, how she this
She
Jeremy.
didn't say
that
anything
Jeremy.
negative.
She didn't say anything
particularly.
negative about Jeremy.
Yes, she didn't say
Because
anything
like as a
negative.
mother, okay, your children just died. At some point, someone will say,
You
okay,
kind
they
of
started
have
hating
this-
their husband.
Yeah, hate-love relationship.
Exactly.
between you and your
But this
husband.
one, no, there was nothing wrong with her relationship with Jeremy. She
Jeremy.
loved him even more after her children died,
Yeah.
which was weird. How can you explain that to me? No, there is nothing she can tell me in
Tell
that
me.
letter to convince me that manuscript was wrong.
And she wrote that letter after Lowen
Mhm.
caught her
Caught
on
her.
the stairs.
Yes,
Yes.
she wrote that letter, and that's why I was saying that Lowen should not have told her that she found that book.
Yes.
Because if she hadn't told her she found that book,
That
then
book,
she wouldn't have written that letter. And she gave her enough time to write the letter before, telling Jeremy about everything, and then him going to find it and all that. So she shouldn't have told her. If she hadn't told her, then she wouldn't have written that letter, and then all this confusion would not have happened, because they would have caught her red-handed.
red-handed. And I think that night that Jeremy was in the room with Lowen, that she locked the door from outside. I have a feeling she wanted to escape with Crew.
Yes, she wanted to run away with
Probably
Crew.
it was too sudden for her and wherever, so she had to delay.
Yes, and the most disturbing thing that I've been saying since this book, why did Crew seem so afraid of Verity?
Yes.
They didn't explain it, and I still don't know why,
No,
and I don't get why.
Yeah, even me too, it was confusing.
When Lowen asked him if his mother used to speak to him, and then he beat down on
beat
the
the
knife
knife,
until his
yes.
gums started bleeding. So he'd rather be hurt than tell her the truth that his mom used to speak to him, which means she used to threaten him or
yes.
do something to him.
Yes.
That made him-
Psychologically, after his sisters died, there was made mention of he wasn't really coping well psychologically, mentally. So they tried putting him through therapy or wherever. So apart from that, there's probably traumatic experience and Verity threatening him also that caused that kind of response when Lowen asked him that question.
Yes, definitely. But do you know that Jeremy is not completely innocent in all this too?
He is not.
Because he
He is
knew
not.
about the manuscript. He didn't tell Lowen that he
didn't
knew about the
tell-
manuscript. He knew
But he did not know that she had a printed copy.
Yes, he didn't know that she had a printed copy, and maybe there were updated stuff in the manuscript that he didn't know about, that he later found out about after Lowen told him. Because you remember he tried to kill her.
Is that he deleted the manuscript?
Yes,
after
yes,
trying
yes,
to kill
he
her
did.
or before. So I don't think she.
So
got
he wanted to kill her.
updating anything.
And Verity is a psycho. How can you pretend to be just
Another villain
for
in
how
your own
many
life?
years?
It doesn't make sense. For how many years?
It didn't make sense at all.
It didn't make sense.
That letter was just something to just try to prove that she wasn't wrong after running away with Crew, because that was the plan.
Yeah.
That was the plan all along. So
My favorite quote at the end was that Verity is very good at okay, I'm not really saying it word for word, but it goes like this: that she's very good at manipulating. So she doesn't know which truth she manipulated, the manuscript or the letter. So that really hit me hard, because after I read that last part, I was like, what did I just read? Because truly, and I believe she manipulated the manuscript to make it look like it wasn't her, it was all a game for her at the end of the day, that she didn't really mean anything she wrote in the manuscript.
yes,
But with that letter, for me, honestly, it wasn't convincing.
it wasn't.
And I like the fact that Lowen did not allow Jeremy to see that letter.
Yes,
Or
even
not,
me.
it will have wrecked their relationship.
Yes.
It will have wrecked Crew's life.
But I didn't actually
and
think
all.
they were going to kill her. I don't know.
I saw it coming.
I didn't. I don't know
saw
why,
it
but I
coming.
didn't. I didn't
The
think
way,
they were going to
the
kill
way
her.
she thought that, how could they do it in a way that it won't come back to them, like the police won't come back to them.
Mm-hmm.
And
No
then
went
she
back?
then she now remembered something she
What?
read from the manuscript.
Yes. So at the end of the day, Verity killed herself. She shouldn't
Yeah,
have
she
written
shouldn't
that
have
in
written
her
that manuscript.
in her manuscript, and then
They
no one would have
physically
seen
killed
it.
her, but she already killed herself.
She already killed herself.
Yeah.
And it was after they killed her that I realized, oh yeah, they should kill her, because if not, she will still come back for them. She will still come back for Crew, or she will come back for Jeremy, or she will come back to hunt them.
Yes.
She will come back at the end of the day. And do you know, proof was
Scary.
there that Verity was a bad person. At one point, they used to say that they never mentioned her parents.
Her parents.
They
yes.
were like, oh, she just didn't have good relationship with her
her
parents.
parents.
But then, why didn't she have a good relationship with her parents? Why would her parents disown her if she was a good human
person,
being?
yes.
They wouldn't just disown her
Probably
like
it's only because they noticed her psychotic
that.
tendencies.
Yes,
and everything.
exactly. And
So
then maybe
had
they tried to help her.
and it didn't work out, so
Mhm.
they let her be on her own.
So, what do you think you would have done if you were Lowen? Would you
If
tear
I
that
was-
paper, the letter, or would you show Jeremy?
I would have done it, honestly. I wouldn't allow him to, because I know how Jeremy gets attached
Mm-hmm.
and how he goes all out for whatever he does. He doesn't do things half-half.
Yeah.
So, me personally, I know that it would tear apart what he has come to believe
Yes.
in.
They will, and
their
Lowen was
relationship
pregnant
too.
too.
Lowen too was pregnant.
So they will not have a
So
peaceful
it's
life
like
at all.
peaceful relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he will be always be doubting what they did. How you
Yes.
could have handled it better.
Yes,
how you
maybe
could have-
killing
yes,
Verity was not the right decision.
So it was better he didn't. They say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I totally agree. If I was
Ignorance
the one,
is
I would have
bliss.
done that paper too. Because me, even as I was reading that letter, I was like, hey, Verity, you can.
what I just wish is that Crew didn't read it
Yes.
before she came to read it. Because if you remember, Crew took a little bit of time before he came back downstairs.
Yes.
Yes, from checking his stuff upstairs.
Yes.
So it was too long for him to read it at that period of time.
So you think Crew read the letter?
I think he might have skimmed through it, but
But then if that's the case, then there's going to be a problem, because
yes.
Crew might believe his mom, and then
Yes.
he would look at Lowen
Lowen
and the dad as the bad people, and then he will grow up to hate Lowen.
But the thing is, she wrote the letter before she died,
Mhm.
so he doesn't know how his mom actually died.
Yes, yeah, he
So
doesn't know.
it will just be his mom wanted to kidnap him.
Yes,
And
and
leave
leave.
their dad. Stuff like that.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, this book is,
Yeah, well, yeah. It's for me. It was
how many stars would you rate it?
out of 5. I would
Yes.
give it 4.8.
I love Colleen Hoover. I would give all her books 5 stars if I
I
could.
know.
I would give all her books 5 stars.
It
But
was
because
worth
because
the
there
read.
are still questions left unanswered
Yeah.
in this book, I will not give it a 5 star because there are still so many open-ended questions here. There are still so many things that I still don't know, that I want to know. So if I could meet Colleen Hoover, I would ask her a lot of questions for this book.
Definitely.
So definitely 4 stars.
So
4 solid
for
stars.
me, who was your best character and what character?
My best character was definitely Lowen.
Mine is Jeremy.
Why?
Mine is Jeremy.
Why?
I just, how do I even say it? I don't know how to explain it, but it's Jeremy.
Okay. Everybody's entitled to their own
Yeah, exactly.
thoughts, but I just thought Lowen was very strong
She is.
because not
She is.
everybody could go through everything she went through.
Very true.
We didn't even talk about
But
the creepy
exactly.
parts, the creepy things Verity did in that house.
I'm
You guys
telling
need
you,
to read this
the
book.
person. I don't even hate this person as much as I don't hate Verity as much as I hate this person. That nurse.
Oh, the nurse that was taking care of Verity.
She was creepy.
She was very creepy, and she was always looking at Lowen as if she was cheating on Verity, and as if like, okay, yeah, her loyalties were to Verity because she knew Verity as Jeremy's wife, and her loyalties
and she
were
felt
there.
like
But she should have known something
lay
was
off,
off.
girl.
Like when Verity was
Yeah.
playing with, is it Crew outside, and then Crew was waving at Verity. Do you remember at the window? And then she turned and she didn't see anybody.
like she
Yeah,
didn't.
somebody was there, but she doesn't know who was there. Those were very creepy moments.
I'm telling you.
That-
Especially that time that Verity was reading the manuscript and she just was it the manuscript? She was working on the note.
Yes.
She just turned to the window.
Yeah, and
she
Verity
saw
was
Verity
staring at her. And then she closed the
I
manuscript. and couldn't
almost
continue
dropped
reading.
my phone. Like seriously, I almost dropped my phone.
Yes, there were a
It
lot of
was-
creepy parts in that book, and I said I read that book very late, so there were a lot of creepy things.
There was a lot of
Sha, the book is a 4 star for me and 4.8 for her.
It was a good read.
It was. I
Considering
loved
that
it.
I did not want to read the book for a very long time,
Mhm.
then Zara was like, "You need to read it." I was like, "Okay."
Yes, anything Colleen Hoover, please, I'm there. Read
Any
it.
give it a
Anything
try.
Colleen Hoover, read it. Let's discuss.
Yeah.
Yes, so you guys, we're going to stop it here. Don't forget to
comes to the end of this
yes,
chapter.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
share, please.
Share.
Let us
share.
know your thoughts in the comment section. What you think about Verity, the book entirely, your favorite characters, and those creepy moments you
Please,
had.
nobody should come at me for loving Colleen Hoover. Nobody should do that.
Exactly. It's not a nice thing actually. And I don't know if you guys know the Empyrean series. I love Rebecca Yarros. I'm
Yes,
not gonna
I
lie.
love Rebecca
Nobody should come
Yarros
after
too.
me too.
Yes. So that's going to be the end.
Nice meeting you all, and I will meet you in our next episode. Stay tuned.
We have not decided which book we're going to
Yes,
review yet,
so-
but
But let us know your recommendations in the comment section, and we'll see.
bye.